being here as we provide a progress update on behalf of the Sports Facility Joint Committee. I'm Mike Corrigan. I'm working with Milestone Scheduling Consulting, and joining me today is the President and CEO of Milestone Scheduling Consulting, Becky Wright. Today's session is designed to give both councils a clear and transparent view of where the project stands, what has been completed, and what decisions are now required as we move forward. I'll begin with a brief review of the completed deliverables. Over the past year, the Joint Committee has finalized the foundational work needed to support informed decision-making on some of the deliverables that have been put forward by Milestone Scheduling Consulting. Next, I'll confirm the Phase 1 decision. From there, I'll move into a review of the new deliverables that are now underway.
Sorry, Mike.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm just going to cut in because we have to start our meeting first, so we have to get into your meeting before you start presenting.
Okay.
Okay, so that's maybe what we got a few things to do before we let you go, unless that's where you're heading, but I don't think so. You're going to do your presentation?
I can stop right after this, then the presentation starts.
Okay, yeah, Michael, we'll get you in just a couple of minutes here. We just have to open up the meeting with the two councils.
Okay.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay.
No. Okay. So Dean, do we? The city does the land acknowledgement first.
Yeah. So Mayor Gervais is going to do the land acknowledgement, I believe. Sorry, before that, I guess. Yeah. Okay. There. I think Victoria had her hand up. I think probably the same reason. I think, but okay.
And sorry, I just wanted to confirm we're streaming. I tried to reach out. I'm just wanting to confirm that we're actually rolling.
We are streaming on LV's end. Yes, we are.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So we'll go to the land acknowledgement and Mayor Gervais.
Certainly. So good afternoon, everyone. As we gather today, I respectfully acknowledge on behalf of both councils and the community that we all reside on the unceded traditional territory of the Algonquin people, and we thank the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years, and it is with this statement that we honor and respect the Algonquins on whose land we reside.
And then you. All right. Steve, call
Okay,
order.
so Dean, we'll do a roll call for LV.
Yeah, we call order first, I guess, and mover and a seconder.
Yeah, mover and a seconder for LV, Jennifer and Alan.
Yeah, moved by moved by Councillor Gauthier, second by Councillor Wren, that the special council meeting of August 24th, 2026 be called to order at 4:40.
All in favor? Carried. Then the city of
And the
Pembroke.
roll call, just do the roll call.
Okay.
Councillor Gauthier,
Present.
Councillor King,
Present.
Councillor Ewan,
I don't see Wendy.
I see her there. She's got her finger up there. I
Okay.
do see her, yeah. Okay, Councillor Hughley,
Present.
Reeve Watt,
Present.
and Mayor Bennett.
Present.
All members present.
And Councillor Wren.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I did miss you, Councillor Wren. I did have my sheet. Forgot you. Sorry, all members present now. Okay.
So on behalf of the city of Pembroke, perhaps Clerk Charbonneau can do a roll call.
Absolutely, through you, Chair. Mayor Gervais,
Present.
Deputy Mayor Brian Abdallah,
Present.
Councillor Ian Keel,
Present.
Councillor Andrew Plummer, Councillor Pat Lafreniere,
Present.
Councillor Ed Jacquinot,
Present.
and Councillor Troy Purcell.
Present.
Mayor Gervais, we have quorum.
Thank you.
Okay, Dean, then we do confirmation of the agenda.
Correct. Mover and seconder.
Brian? Betty?
Moved by Councillor Hughley, second by Councillor King, that the agenda of the special council meeting of August 24th, 2026 be approved as presented.
All in favor? Carried. Declaration of pecuniary interest and general nature thereof. Seeing none. So we'll move down to business.
I don't know if the city, do you guys want to confirm the agenda, or do you, you're not doing it that route?
Well, I think I'm content with Mayor Bennett having
Yeah.
approved the agenda.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. So we'll pass it over. Sorry, Mike, I guess now you're up.
Yeah, and maybe Mike, before you start, I think we just want to maybe set a couple of ground rules first, and which Dean and I discussed this morning, that Michael and Becky are going to make the presentation tonight. Obviously, there's going to be questions to be asked, and we do that. Mike and Becky, you can decide if it's as you're going through it or at the end, whichever you tell us to do shortly. At the end of the meeting, they will then be presented to each of the councils in September, and we can have a discussion at some point whether we would like Mike and Becky to be at each of our meetings when it is discussed at council. So with that, Mike and Becky, we'll turn it over to you, and please proceed.
Good
I don't think
afternoon,
I can
Mayor
hear Mike.
Gerba.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. Good afternoon, Mayor Gerber and members of Pembroke City Council, and good afternoon to Mayor Bennett and members of Laurentian Valley Council. Thank you for being here with us today, and we're going to provide a progress update on behalf of the Sports Facility Committee. My name is Mike Corrigan. I'm working with Milestone Scheduling Consulting, and joining me today is Becky Wright, who is the CEO and President of Milestone Scheduling and Consulting. Today's session is designed to give both councils a clear and transparent view of where the project stands, what has been completed, and what decisions are now required as we move forward. I'll begin with a brief review of the completed deliverables, because over the past year, the Joint Committee has finalized the foundational work needed to support informed decision makings with the help of the deliverables that have been agreed to from Milestone Scheduling Consulting. Next, I will confirm Phase 1 decision. From there, I'll move into the review of some new deliverables that have come forward. And finally, I will outline a path forward. As we move forward, we appreciate the continued support and direction from both councils, and we remain committed to providing timely updates as the project advances. And if you can keep your questions till the end of the presentations, that'll give myself and Becky and the committee members a little bit more time to answer them. Thank you. We'll move into the agenda. So first, we'll look at the establishment of the Sportsplex Committee, role and purpose, the hiring of Milestone Scheduling Consulting, the scope of work for Milestone Scheduling and Consulting, high-level review of milestones, Phase 1 of project as determined by the committee, the next steps, which approval to move forward with an owner engineer, and then we'll have discussions. So the Sportsplex Facility Joint Committee terms of reference, the purpose and mandate. The ad hoc Sportsplex Facility Joint Committee is tasked with reviewing the scope of work and financing model for a new Sportsplex facility. The committee will provide recommendations on subsequent actions and budgetary considerations aiming to facilitate the issuance of an RFP for a new Sportsplex. This includes evaluating the potential engagement of an owner engineer to assist with the design proposal, project management, and RFP process. The committee's recommendations are subject to council's discretion for acceptance, rejection, or amendment. To achieve this objective, the committee will be asked to consider the following: review the Sportsplex needs assessment prepared by Milestone Scheduling Consulting, review the City of Pembroke Recreation Master Plan and Laurentian Valley Recreation Master Plan, define the scope of work for the project, specifying what to include in the development, explore financing options, include contributions from other municipalities, sponsors, fundraising initiatives, donors, multi-level government agencies, and other pertinent sources, appoint an owner engineer, and develop an RFP for a new Sportsplex facility. This committee reports to the councils of the city of Pembroke and the township of Laurentian Valley. The composition, the voting members, we have 3 representatives from the city of Pembroke. They are Councillor Plummer, Councillor Purcell, and Councillor Keel. We have 3 representatives from township of Laurentian Valley. They are Mayor Bennett, Councillor Gauthier, and Councillor Hughley. We have staff resources. We have the Chief Administrative Officer from the City of Pembroke, who will be a resource person for the committee. Also, at the last meetings for the past year, we've had the CEO from Laurentian Valley, Dean Soriel. We've had Jared DeRoche, the Director of Parks and Recreation for the City of Pembroke, and we've had Annie Virencourt, who is the Treasurer for Laurentian Valley, participating in the meetings along with Chris Neff. At some point, we'll be bringing in various sports groups and interest parties, which will be brought in at a later date. The hiring of Milestone Scheduling Consulting. In June of 2025, Milestone Scheduling Consulting was hired to perform a Sportsplex complex needs assessment. Milestone Scheduling Consulting is a local contractor. As part of the Sportsplex complex needs assessment, Milestone Scheduling Consulting submitted 6 deliverables for consideration to the committee. The 6 proposed deliverables were accepted. The scope of work, deliverable 1 was to review the terms of reference of the Sportsplex Facility Joint Committee and chair the meetings. Deliverable 2 was to review Parks and Recreation master plans, the building condition assessments for the PMC, the PACC, and the pool. Included in the review will be the AMP for core and non-core assets. Deliverable 3, present a focused report on critical equipment with a replacement cost of over $100,000. Report will be focused on end-of-life maintenance costs of critical equipment and assets. Deliverable 4, inventory list of sports fields and rental halls. Details of what list will encompass will be determined by the committee. Deliverable 5, develop a systematic approach for choosing the optimal location for the new Sportsplex facility. Deliverable 6 was stakeholder and a community engagement plan. So deliverable 1 was completed. The terms of reference were reviewed. Now, there were some changes made and accepted by the committee. Deliverable 2, all documentations and plans were reviewed with some recommendations. That was completed. We looked at all building condition assessment, as we mentioned before, the Parks and Recreation master plans for both Laurentian Valley and the City of Pembroke. We looked at the asset management plans for both Laurentian Valley and the City of Pembroke, and the ongoing building condition assessments for the pool, PEMICE 2, and the Pembroke Memorial Center. Deliverable 3, there was over 31 pieces of equipment that were identified that were over $100,000. The chart that we put together, we had the service life, the actual age, the observed age, the remaining life that was left, the replacement year, and the replacement cost of those pieces of equipment, which was all information that was in building condition assessments and that was later transferred over to your asset management plan. Deliverable 4 developed a recreation asset inventory table that showed replacement costs and useful life of assets. This was a lot of outdoor assets between Laurentian Valley and the City of Pembroke. Deliverable 5, this was the site selection matrix. So along with the committee, we developed this matrix by choosing the selection elements, which was location accessibility, demographics and community needs, land availability and characteristics, infrastructure and utilities, economic feasibility, future growth and flexibility. The weighting factors were determined by the committee. There was 3 preferred sites that were put forward for us to put through the site selection matrix. At the time, it was the Smith property behind the Home Depot.
Just a point of order.
Technically-
Sorry, Mike.
Yeah.
I just don't think that we should list all the sites in open because there may be some negotiations have to take place. So maybe we could just defer that to old or
Okay.
to closed. I'm sorry.
Yes, all right, sure.
Thank you.
Yep. There was 3 sites and currently there is another site that has come forward, but some discussion still needs to happen with the committee from Councillor Purcell and Councillor Hughley. Deliverable 6, stakeholder and community engagement. So the committee put out a survey in February. It ran from February 23rd to March 23rd. There was a strong public participation of 1,745 contributors and 2010 total survey submissions. From that, I believe there was over 400 comments. Becky, you can correct me if I'm wrong. That went along with the survey. And the amenities with the strongest overall personal use interest were the pool was at 79%, walking and running track, fitness and exercise space, multi-purpose courts, arena ice pad, the concession and cafe, spectator seating, and indoor turf field. The survey asked the question on where they would want these, whether they were in phase 1 or phase 2. And the decision and the answers that came back as far as pool and rink, they were pretty split between phase 1 and phase 2. What was very apparent is that the community was looking forward for in phase 1 was some type of walking track, multi-purpose courts, a recreational facility that had space for seniors. Those were the ones that were identified as being what the survey kind of led to in phase 1. With the decision, with survey questions, with the information we had on building condition assessments, with the information we had from staff, from Jordan, the committee at this point made a decision that in phase 1 of this recreation development, that we would be looking at a facility that had a walking track, multiple courts, a gathering place, and there might even be an opportunity to look at a chance of having an indoor turf field to go along with it. The decision was made through survey questions. If we looked at the Laurentian Valley Master Plan and we looked at the City of Pembroke Master Plan, an indoor recreational facility was something that had been identified in both plans. Through your master plan with the City of Pembroke, the City of Pembroke Parks and Recreation Master Plan, there was a SWOT analysis that was done by the organization that came in. And the strengths was a good variety of recreational facilities, pool and 2 arenas. Opportunities was the creation of a multi-purpose indoor space and investing in facilities to extend their use and increase programming. Weaknesses was the aging facilities and infrastructure and lack of space for indoor recreation opportunities. And your threat was an aging facility and assets. So looking at the asset management plan that the City of Pembroke has put in place, speaking with Jordan and staff from the City of Pembroke, looking at the past building condition assessments, and now with the updated building condition assessments, the ongoing work or the work that has been done at Kinsman Pool and the upcoming work that is going to be done at Kinsman Pool with the dehumidification and at the Pem Ice 2 with the upgrades of the surface and the boards. We felt that the current recreational facilities, along with their asset management plan and the capital planning, are, we wouldn't say in good condition, but are in fair condition. And maybe 5 years down the road is a good time to start planning for a new pool or a new rink. But right now, with the survey questions and what the community has kind of come across the table with us, it looks like they would like a indoor facility, an indoor recreation facility that has a walking track, multiple courts, a gathering place, a place to exercise. So that is what the committee has determined that phase 1 of the project will be. So with the phase 1 being identified, there are some additional milestones that we've been asked to look at, which is create a project vision. Deliverable 8 would be create a project charter. Deliverable 9 is draft a scope of work for phase 1 of the project to assist with RFP process in hiring the owner's engineer. And deliverable 10 is to present the progress date to councils. So because we have phase 1 identified, the reason for these additional scopes of work, specifically project vision and project charter, is so we kind of put guardrails up on what we actually plan to do. So the project vision for the Sportsplex facility is to develop a sustainable year-round regional Sportsplex facility that promotes health, wellness, and community connection through accessible recreation and opportunities. Phase
Just
1
to
will
note, sorry, Mike, that this is not approved by the committee yet. It's 75% complete. Same with the next slide as well. In draft, have not been officially approved.
Yep. And phase 1 will deliver multi-purpose courts, an indoor walking track, and flexible community spaces that support residents of all ages and abilities while creating opportunities for partnership, programming, and revenue generation to ensure long-term sustainability. The project charter. The purpose of the phase 1 regional Sportsplex facility project is to advance the planning and development of a multi-use recreational facility that supports the current and future needs of residents and athletes, community organizations, and regional partners. Phase 1 will focus on establishing an accessible year-round indoor recreation hub that promotes health, wellness, sports development, community connection, and economic opportunity. The facility will develop using a phased approach that addresses immediate community priorities while allowing future expansion opportunities as funding partnerships and regional recreational needs and evolves. And once approved, the full project charter will be available to anyone upon request. Deliverable 9 is the owner engineer proposed statement of work. So what we're looking at is these have not been approved yet. We are looking at bringing in an owner engineer to perform a feasibility study that would have these scopes of work in it. So what we're looking at is facility program development, a conceptual design, a detailed cost estimate, either class 3 or class 4, an operating model with financial projections, a risk assessment, and a funding and partnership strategy. So the next steps is after this is the education session is over, The individual councils will go off and discuss this phase one. We are looking for approval for an owner engineer to complete a feasibility study. Before we do any of the feasible or the owner engineer to go out, we would have to put out a public release, or if not, we would have to. It would be nice to put one out since we've had the survey, and just to let the public know that the survey's been done, it's been completed. This is what we heard, and these are the next steps moving forward. And I just want to, the whole premise of this is that Laurentian Valley and the city of Pembroke, once the owner engineer is done, they have a package that is ready. So it's not ready for construction. It's not ready. We're not looking for approval to construct. We're looking for approval for an owner engineer to come in to do a feasibility study to give us an idea of what the facility would look like, what the facility would cost, how we can go about funding, what's the risks of us actually doing it, who can we get in place for some type of partnership, so that this package is sitting on a shelf. If an opportunity comes provincially or federally, that we send a delegation to go and try to secure some funding to start a recreation facility. Right now, we're just looking to get the package completed. So we have something that it's not shovel ready, but it's the next step to being shovel ready. So. I think we will open up the floor for questions. And please, with the questions, I welcome committee members, anybody else who feels who could help out with the answers.
Who would like to start?
Can I maybe just make a comment? I guess, is everybody clear on what's happening in this process? So Mike, I mean, he went over it, so I'll make sure everybody's clear as what tonight is supposed to bring. Tonight is basically an education session that's giving the information of what the committee has come up with. As you mentioned, we're moving forward. No decisions are made tonight. It's basically get as much information you can. We're going to then circle back in September at one of our each individual council meeting where there'll be a motion or some ask to say, are we moving forward with those other deliverables that Mike mentioned at the end, meaning getting the owner engineer to get a package ready for a shelf at a later date. So is everybody clear? That's the mandate tonight. It's not discussing phase one or all that kind of stuff. You can ask questions about how we got to it, what we're doing, but at the end, each council is going to have its own say on whether we move forward with what the committee suggesting. Just to make sure that's clear first before we move forward.
Maybe I'll make one comment as well, Dean, that I know we informed our committee, the Laurentian Valley committee members informed our council as we went through this process that there are no other outside partners, meaning other municipalities that want to be involved at this time. I know that Whitewater said sometime down the road, possibly, and Petawawa is working on their own programming in Petawawa with the base. So there are no other outside municipalities that want to be involved at this time. So it is Laurentian Valley and the city of Pembroke, just to make that clear. So I think we have do you want me to go with the questions, Mike, or do you see, start with maybe Wendy and then Alan? I see two hands up so far.
Okay.
Okay, Wendy.
So maybe this is a question for your mayor. Are we even able to make a decision on anything because we're kind of in a lame duck position right now?
Okay, I'll take that one. I guess so. Laurentian Valley is not in a lame duck position, so we don't have that issue. In my understanding, and I'm not going to speak for Dave and Victoria,
Okay.
but they have funds already for a feasibility study in their current budget, so this wouldn't affect the decision to move forward with the owner engineer. Wouldn't affect them because they have funding as long as it's within that parameters. And for our purposes, we would have to bring it to the table, but we are not lame duck, so we'll make that decision at that time.
Okay, thank you.
I don't, if Dave, I don't know if you want to clarify any more than that.
No, you summed it up correctly. There was funds already approved in the budget, and as per the municipal act, we can move forward on this project as long as we don't exceed those funds.
Thanks, Dave. Okay, Alan, and then Pat.
Okay, so my question then is on those funds. Do we know what the cost of the owner and engineer is?
So we don't, at this time, we don't, Councillor Wren. Speaking with Dave and Dean, we figure, depends what the scope is gonna look like. So if we agree to do the 5 or 6 deliverables that I had up there, I think we're looking at about $150,000 to $200,000.
Okay, thank you.
Pat, and then Ron.
Hi. I appreciate the work that's gone into this thus far, but I'm kind of taken aback. This is the first report I've actually had from this committee. When we first started these discussions, the big thing was a pool. It was our ice facilities because of the aging infrastructure and the ongoing expenses to try to keep them alive, sort of keep them breathing, so to speak. And although I don't disagree with the fact that it'd be nice to have a walking trail, the courts, the gathering place, the indoor field, great. But I think that what we saw as a vision, or my conversations I had with Pembroke Council, was more, let's focus on the needs coming up to offset these huge capital expenditures we're looking at for aging facilities. Let's look at pool and rinks first, and then build those other things on later. Seems we're putting now the extra things we don't have first, rather than the ones we already have that are going to cost us a fortune in the upcoming few terms. So I guess I'm kind of confused about that. We're going to be looking at expenditures and debentures on things we don't have that are going to increase the program costs that we are going to have. Plus, we're going to have to keep improving these aging infrastructure. Like I said, I know a lot of work went into this. It just to me seems like, if I was going to build a beautiful home, you know what? Let's not look at the home now. Let's do the landscaping first, and let's get a pool in the backyard first. So I'm just a little confused about the order in which we're looking at this project. I understand, and I liked the idea about 5 years down the road, maybe looking at a pool, because let's face it, we have made some improvements to the pool and it's working right now. But, I know this is going to take some time to raise money for a pool, but now we're talking about raising money for things we don't have. So we're adding on to our workload, our programs, which is going to raise our costs already just by adding. So again, I'm kind of confused about this. I won't be here when this decision goes down, but I don't know that I'm the only one surprised by the fact that we're moving ahead with additional programming without looking at what brought us here in the first place, which was a pool and rinks. Anyway, that's my comment. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Mike, do you want to start with the response to that?
Sure. So Councillor Fernier, we looked at, as we went through the building condition assessments with the pool, with PEMICE 2 and with the PMC, and then with the updated building condition assessments, the work that's been done with the pool, the work is moving forward with the pool, we felt that there was I did say 5 years. It might be more than 5 years, but we felt that there was a window that through the recreation master plans, through the survey that went out, it seemed like the community wanted something that they didn't have, and it seemed to come out pretty strongly in the survey. We're maintaining the pools, we're maintaining the rinks. The asset management plan for the city of Pembroke is amazing. Now there's more oversight on some of the critical pieces of equipment that they were worried about before failing, which could shut down their operations completely. Now they've got maintenance plans in place. They know when to replace the pieces of equipment. Their capital planning has come together as far as asset management, as far as new equipment. We felt that the life of those three facilities was being extended. And now we're looking at something else that through the surveys and through the recreational plans, it's something else that the community was looking for. So.
And just to add on to that, the committee had decided, you know, they looked at the acreage that you need to be able to expand. This isn't just a, you know, this is a phased approach, not just based on, you know, we can only do one thing at a time, but it's based on the funding, it's based on the needs, and looking at the survey results, looking at the conditions of the facilities that we have right now. You know, we could give them what they want right now, and then begin that phased approach for planning for when the pool and the rink start to fail. So that was the mindset of the committee, but I invite any one of the committee members to also chime in on an answer.
Could I give a follow-up comment?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, just in response to what the community wants. They don't want increased taxes, because we know that we hear on, like, our taxes are all going up quite a bit. And I know Laurentian Valley too is facing the same thing. People always say what they want, but what do they want to pay for is my concern. Is like, I know we're going to build all these extra facilities. It's going to cost more. Like, I really think we're losing focus on the basics. What brought us together, we're worried about future costs of existing facilities. Now we're building all kinds of extra things. If I was worried about fixing the roof on my house, I'm certainly not going to say, well, let's build another structure in the backyard. So to me, just seems a little skewed. And I'm just
I'm gonna move on to Ron, had his name up, and then Troy, I'm gonna let you speak on from the committee point of view. But is it Ron? You had a comment, Ron, or a question?
Yes. So I have two, and so to Councillor Lafreniere's, I'll start with that. To Councillor Lafreniere's point, I suspect that when it comes to our own council, then we can have those kinds of discussions, because just so that the rest of my council knows, I've always said, you know, there's needs and there's wants, and so we're certainly going to have that discussion at our council. But building into that, what I was told in terms of, and I don't know where this number came from, but if we were looking at developing 2 new rinks to replace the PACC and PEMICE 2, I was given a number of 90 million, which, as Mayor Bennett has already said, like, so far it's City of Pembroke and Township of Laurentian Valley, and unless someone else comes to the table, I don't know how we afford that. And my question then, first question for Mike, is it, without the owner engineer, is it premature to know what the cost would be of this phase 1? That's the first question.
In order to get a, yes, I think it would be. I think we need. I think it would be. I think we need the owner engineer or someone who's able to give us some type of cost estimate. But in order for us to get some type of cost estimate, we need to know, as far as conceptual design, what do we want? So that's why the owner engineer could have put that all together into a nice package and put that on the table and said, in order to build this is what it's going to cost.
Okay, and that's fair enough. Like, that's the answer. Just because my point is that if it's going to be 90 million, again, unless someone else comes to the table, but I understand your approach. I know that when we went to see Minister Lumsden, he talked about being shovel ready or else quit coming to talk to me. So I get that. My second question, I guess, is because you had mentioned in terms of different individuals approaching about what they would want to see in a facility and so forth. I know, and I've raised it before with my council, that we have one member of council who has made certain promises to have a library and a senior center in it. And I guess what I'm wondering is, has your organization made any promises to any third parties, whether it's the senior centers or it's the library or anything like that?
So none that I know of.
Okay.
being a committee member, there's been no promises by any of the committee members that I'm aware of what's going in the facility. And as Michael has mentioned, the facility is going to be partially designed by the owner engineer, but we would have a lot of input that what's going to go in there, again, depending on the cost. Now, Troy, help me out here. And I think Mr. Andrew, we talked as well about the possible cost of a dome indoor facility. And I think maybe 10 million was maybe a number that was thrown around the committee. Not that we're going to stick by that, but Troy, help me out. And I do know you have a comment and question as well. So go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Steve, through you, Chair. Yeah, well, there's a couple things I think we need to talk about. First of all is the building condition assessments. The building condition assessments that were presented to council were updated. So that's skewed, and maybe that's where Pat is probably getting a lot of the information was from the past building condition assessments. There seems to be a little bit more life in terms of our facilities than what was presented before. And this is through Jordan and through the more in-depth assessments in terms of the critical equipment. You know, when they identified those 30-some pieces of equipment, those are the critical pieces. You know, and with the revisions that are taking place, such as PACC with the replacement of the floor, and also replacement of the floor of the Memorial Center in 2029, I believe it is on the books. So with those two big investments, it breathes a lot of life into those two facilities. So in terms of the rinks would be actually in even fair, probably good condition. So that being said, we wanted to get a little bit of momentum in terms of getting something started. We've been talking about a pool for 15 years now? It's got to be 15 years. We have to get some momentum. And the reason that we wanted to go to a phased approach was to, you know, get some things started so that way there we can deliver on some really good recreation opportunities for the residents of Rancho Valley and Pembroke. And then what we could do is build upon that. And if money's become available, we can expedite phase 2 and phase 3. The issue is that when we're starting to talk about hundreds of millions of dollars, like $100 million. And I recognize that, you know, it is tough in terms of the financial component, but then again, that's what the owner engineer would do is identify the opportunities and show us, you know, what is out there. We don't know what's out there. We don't know the partners that are out there. We also don't know the financing models, the various different components in terms of running these types of facilities in a feasible manner, and also affording those lands and the building itself. So we wanted to start small, and if we could start small and get some momentum, then we can move forward. A rink, 2 rinks, a pool, that's a big bite to chew. So if we can get something, you know, we can acquire the lands, such as 10 to 12 acres, I think it's more or less 12 acres. We acquire the lands to have it shovel ready, have a little small phase in there that's appropriate in terms of that's a real need for and a want from our residents and the various different users, and then build upon that success. I think we bite off too much more than we can chew, and we go into, you know, go to the provincial government and say we need, you know, $100 million. Well, that's not going to happen, right? You know, the most that these initiatives kind of get from provincial government is like a $20 million investment. So, you know, maybe we could just bite off something a little smaller and then build some momentum, get some excitement with the community, and see what fosters from there. And I think that was the intent. But I think we need to kind of, you know, keep moving forward. We recognize that, you know, majority of the people think that we need rinks and because maybe some of the conditions are, and pool. I know that the conditions, maybe in terms of visual conditions, but they're still, in terms of operating, they're still operating appropriately and as designed. So, and with those minor changes, it'll continue to operate for the next 10 years, 15 years. So now's the time to get something started so that we can build upon that in terms of different phases.
Thanks, Troy. Brian Abdallah.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
So I just want to thank the committee and the consultants for the work they've done. And I don't have many comments right now, but we can only have what we can afford. So we'll have to get going forward. Anything that's decided depends on grants, funding, and fundraising. That's the bottom line. We have to maintain what we have and plan for the future. Mayor Gervais made a comment about the council member promised a library and a senior center. He was probably referring to me when I started this process 2 or 3 years ago by making a motion for a SportsFX P3 option. I never promised a library or a senior center. I said it's a possibility. So I just want to make that clear. Any options on the table, but the library won't be moving. As chair of the library board, the residents don't want it moved. It's a very historic building, and the senior center are always looking for more space, and that's a fact. So I just want to get the facts straight. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Questions, comments? Wendy.
So I just want to be clear here. So in moving forward, all we're looking for at this point is the deliverable 9 for the owner engineer, and then those 6 steps that Mike had mentioned. So we're looking forward to move just to get a detailed cost estimate, like a funding and partnership strategy. So we're not really looking into the big picture right now of everything, right? Like we just want to move forward with the owner engineer proposal.
That's clear. Certainly after tonight, as we mentioned earlier, each council will meet with hopefully the opportunity to have Mike and Becky at each of our meetings in case there's questions between now and then, which I'm sure there will be. But we're not making any decision on any facility. Only the owner engineer, so it's probably 75 to 100,000 per municipality cost-wise to move forward with that.
Yeah.
So there's no decision being made tonight at all.
No.
And I guess going back, make a comment myself regarding what Pat earlier said, and certainly my intention going in on this committee was, hey, you know what, we need a rink, we need a pool. Where are we going to find $100 million? And even from last year to this year, the dollars keep going up, and you talk to various residents that have been to facilities outside of Redford County, and wow, $1 million puts in a couple of pads now, and it's pretty scary. And as Troy said, we have to move forward in recreation in both our communities, and with the recent developments after we get the ice done at Pembroke 2, or the city does as well as a pool, we've got probably 10 years. Certainly there's going to be costs to both municipalities to maintain these 2 facilities and the pool. But in the meantime, it's really, as Troy said, the only option that we can look forward to that the community wants, and maybe we can afford with grant money down the road. But to move forward and say, okay, let's get an owner engineer to look at a double ice pad and let's move forward with that. It's not reality. We have to maintain the costs and support the facilities we have, and look at the future down the road. And who knows what kind of grant money is going to be out there. But certainly my thoughts changed through the process, and I'm certainly behind the dome of some sort moving forward. I don't know if any other committee members want to make a comment from their time being on the committee so far, or any other questions from any council members or staff as well?
The only thing I'd suggest, and I think we all know it, but I'm going to say it again, put the elephant in the room. And I think, I think somebody mentioned it, but we need to get grant funding today. There needs to be a package. You got to be ready to go. So that's just the way it is. That's the new norm. It's not like, oh, the grant's out, let's start process. Oh, we'll do this. We need to have it on the shelf, ready to go, and be sure that's what we want to go, and we're heading down that path. When it comes out, it'll come out quick. So that's kind of where, and I think Becky referred to it. this is a stepped approach. We're getting the land. It's basically Legos. It's put the first building up there, and then when Pem Ice goes down or whatever goes down, then we're looking at adding that particular facility to this building. And then basically, and it'll be there for a long time. So if it's the dome's up in 5 years and the pool comes in 10 years, then you add in the 5 years you're planning for the pool, you put it there, and you're and again you're getting these steps up and they're all on the shelf ready to go. That's where the funds are going to come. That's the only thing that's the only thing we can do. We got to be prepared. That's all it is.
Okay. Thanks, Dean. Wendy, and then Keith, and then Pat.
So yeah, I just wanted to follow up with one thing. I know one thing from reading from several different sites on the ministry, they really do say that they need partnerships. They're not going to fund just the city or just Laurentian Valley with any grants. So we do have a better chance if we work together. And the other thing is, I do want to thank the committee and Mike and his team for everything that they've done, because I was a little surprised myself too when I saw all the feedback. But now that I've heard the explanations, and it makes a lot more sense to me now to start where phase one, where the committee has suggested. So I just want to thank everyone for the work on this so far.
Thanks, Wendy. Keith, please.
Just comment that I think you're on the right track. I support the direction that it's going in. There's nothing hard and fast other than getting to that point where we have the engineer who prepares a basic cost for us, and we can take it from there. Thank you.
Thanks, Keith. Pat, please.
Yeah, thank you for all your background and opinions on this. You mentioned we have the location. Have we settled on a location?
No, we haven't. So
Okay.
at the end of the day, the committee would like to have two or three locations and had them ranked and put them into the hands of the owner engineers so they can perform like traffic study, environmental study.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, Keith, you still have your hand up. But I don't know if it's down or not. One other thing I was going to mention, and I thought about this today. I had the opportunity with some of the other mayors and staff to tour a renovated section that the hospital wants to do, and there's a lot of grant money that needs to be provided, but they wanted to let us as mayors know, and I was going to bring that to our council at our next meeting. But as Sabine had said, that the day of building a new hospital, and Ottawa's a prime example, 50 billion or whatever, it's out of the question for Pembroke and area. But to renovate certain sections as grants come available, that's the process they're going. And the hospital certainly made a lot of headway in doing that. And it kind of reminds me a little bit about what the city has with the 2 rinks in the pool, that we can't go after the top dog and build 2 new pools or 2 new rinks in a pool and spend $150 million. But maybe we can get away with kind of band-aiding the facilities that I think are better than we thought they were, and start small and work on what maybe we can afford along with the upkeep of the facilities the city has now. So it is a starting point, and certainly I want to thank Mike and Becky for their guidance for the committee that we've had so far, and we hope to keep working with you.
So I'd like to just say all the monthly presentations. So the committee's been going for about a year now. The committee's had presentations, a monthly presentation on us trying to close deliverables. We've received direction from the committee. The committee has had some good conversations. The committee has had some hard conversations, and the committee has had tough conversations at the table. I feel that the committee has gotten themselves into a good spot right now. I think the next step to get us over the hump is what we're here asking for today. At the end of the day, as we said, we're not looking for approval to build. We're looking for a package that tells us what it will look like and what it would cost. And all the information that's happened at the meetings, the meeting minutes, the closed out deliverables, how we close the deliverables out, and all the monthly presentations are available to anybody who wants to have a look at it.
Thank you, Michael. Quick question moving, after tonight, obviously it's out there and people are going to start talking about what the councils are looking at in September. Is there anything that we can go forward with, or are we going to make any type of announcement with the two municipalities, or are we just going to wait and pass and see if we pass the motions in September and then do some kind of announcement of where we're going with this? Maybe Dean or Dave, you guys may want to comment on that.
Do you want to, or do you want me to take it? Or
yeah, I can respond. Yeah, what we had talked about at committee, because there was lots of response in regards to the surveys, and we appreciate all the engagement that we have had from the public, and so they should know kind of where our direction is going and why we got there. And so we figured that the best is to do our meetings, which ours will be September 1st, and I think yours might be the same. And shortly thereafter, then a public press release.
Okay. And Dean, maybe as we discussed earlier, is there a way that we can have Mike and Becky attend one meeting and then shuttle over to the
yeah, we
meeting
can probably do something. We can do something with the timing. Maybe I'll speak to Dave and Mike, and Dave can ask his council if he wants them there, and we'll make sure we want them. And if that's the case, we'll just stagger the agenda items at times where it'll work, kind of thing. So we can work that out. That's an option for sure.
Okay.
Anybody else? I just wanted to add one thing. We do want to continue to utilize the Engage Pembroke site. It hasn't been updated in a while, but once the media release goes out to the public, and we can release, some sort of the results of the survey and what our next steps are once the councils meet, we would like to update the Engage Pembroke site that is also linked to Laurentian Valley site. And keep that going so the public knows where we're at and they understand what we've done with the deliverables, the survey results, the next steps, the RFP that's going out, because they will see the RFP when it goes out. So we would like to make sure that engagement happens before that.
Thanks, Becky. Anybody else? Pat?
Yeah, just a final question. The Friends of the Pool, the fundraising committee, have they been kept in the loop about, obviously not, because I guess we haven't made it public yet, but if we go ahead with phase 1 and the pool's not part of it, we probably should engage that group, because I know they were very interested in, okay, what can we tell our donors? Like, it's hard to get people to donate if you think the pool's going to close in 3 years, right? So it would be good to really engage them in the fact that, this facility might be here for quite a while. So continue to collect money for the lockers. I know that was on their mandate. And so, I think if this is announced in the next little while, we really need to keep that working group excited about what they're doing.
That's right.
Yeah, we can certainly do that. Again, it's only an engineer study. We haven't made a decision on what we're going to do next. Who knows what may happen? If it's shelf ready, and 2.5 years from now, 2 years, something goes south on the pool or maybe a rink. Well, then the project changes. But we need, as a committee and councils, to move forward with a project in mind and show that the public that we're trying to help the areas with recreation. So there's nothing else then. Dean, I think we need an adjournment, and that can be from either council.
No, I think at one point they're doing confirming bylaw. Mayor Jervis is going to do his confirming bylaw. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Bennett. Moved by myself, and if I have a seconder, if someone wants to yell out that they're seconding, it's seconded by Councillor Frenier, that bylaw 2026-74 to confirm the proceedings of this joint special meeting of Council August 24th, 2026 be adopted and passed. And further said bylaw be signed by the Mayor and Clerk So myself and Clerk Charbonneau and seal with the seal of the corporation. Those in favor?
Okay, it's carried.
Yeah.
So Dean,
Now I do adjournment.
motion to adjourn, Alan and Pat. All in favor? Carried. Thank you, everyone. Have a
Good night,
evening.
everyone.